Well, we have been talking about fire safety and the fire bans that have been happening here in Eagle County. Joining me now is Eric Lovgren to tell me a little bit more about wildfire mitigation. He's the wildfire mitigation coordinator for Eagle County. And you guys have been pretty busy the last couple of weeks here as we've had that big wildfire, what's it called, the Gutzler fire that we had over in the county?
Yeah, that's correct. And that fire is still burning and getting some containment in on it. I believe 40% contained as of this morning, but it's certainly got everyone's attention, especially during the week of the 4th of July when it was pushing a whole lot of smoke into this area. Yeah,
and they were concerned about the fireworks going off and maybe they wouldn't be doing them. So when we do have wildfires, what goes into the process of making sure that that stays contained, and how do we mitigate that?
Sure, absolutely. So it's sort of two-part question there. When we have a wildfire, we have a whole bunch of resources that are available to us to help put it out, from the federal government down to local fire professionals and law enforcement and everybody in between. But what I do as the mitigation coordinator for Eagle County is to work to prepare for wildfires by preparing individuals, their properties, by working with local fire districts to coordinate emergency response, realtors, county commissioners, elected officials, everything towards creating what we call a fire-adapted community that is ready for the return of fire to their landscape, because it's always been a part of the landscape and it always will.
Yes, definitely here in Colorado and places in the West like Utah, California, they also have to go through wildfire mitigation as well. How can we as a community be prepared for that?
Well, the best way to prepare for wildfire is to remember that wildland firefighters are in the business of putting out fires, and if you don't prepare your property for them, they're not going to be able to protect your structure. There's tactics that are used that are different. So we have to prepare the battlefield for them, if you will, so that they can do more with less. Because what we'll have, rather than a group of firefighters going to protect one home, we'll have them asking them to protect hundreds of homes. And wildfire is a force of nature. I mean, they're not always going to be able to stop that fire. I mean, we don't ask our emergency responders to stand in the way of a flood or a hurricane and say stop. So it's about the same to ask them to go and protect your home from a wildland fire without having done anything to prepare it. So, and it can be very basic. It's simple as trimming back your trees, removing dead brush from around your home, getting firewood off your deck if you're not using it anymore in the summertime, cleaning your gutters, closing screens, raking mulch away from wooden walls. And there's a lot of things, and there's a whole bunch of people that are available to help you. We can come out to your property, spend some time with you, and really drilling down into what you need to do to prepare your home for fire season.
Now, there are programs and resources available for us to know a little bit more about them. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So working in conjunction with the Vail Board of Realtors and several of the local fire protection districts in Eagle County, last year we launched our Real Fire program, which is a voluntary program where we'll try to pair you with firefighters in your fire district to come out and spend an hour or so walking over your home with you, looking at all the elements of the house that might lead to an ignition during a wildfire, looking at the trees and the other vegetation around your home, and then talking about emergency preparedness. Have you made a go kit in case you have to evacuate? Do you have an inventory of what's in your house for your insurer? Are you up to date on your insurance? Do you have an address marker that the emergency responders can find, and so on? And then after that time, should the owners work to complete this mitigation plan that's unique to their property, we can come back and sort of go to bat with them, with their insurer or with future home buyers, by offering a certificate of recognition on the program, on the property itself. And we mirrored this off of the Wildfire Partners program in Boulder County, which was tested last summer during the Cold Springs fire near Nederland, where all 9 of the properties that they had worked with and certified survived intact within the fire perimeter. So we know mitigation works, and it's a lot more effective on the front end to do the work than it is to rely on your firefighters, to rely on the aircraft and the Forest Service to save you, because they can't always.
Yeah, as you said, it's a force of nature and something that we have to, as a community, be mindful of so that we can do our part. So we can visit realfire.net and eaglecounty.us to get a little more information. And you can always call Eric yourself as well. We've listed his phone number there on the bottom of the screen just to ask some questions and maybe learn a little bit more. And you can always participate in those programs that Eric was telling us about. Thank you again for coming on the show today. Be mindful of your fires. We're in that fire ban right now, so don't be making any campfires for just yet, but we do have some moisture coming our way. We're going to tell you what's happening on tomorrow's show when we come back.